Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So guess what? I just had the most unbelievable experience of my life. I won an all expenses paid trip to the Maldives with Qatar Airways, and in this video I'm going to take you through every single amazing detail of this trip and how I managed to win. From the luxurious flight to the stunning 5-star resort and everything in between. This is the ultimate travel vlog you won't want to miss. Let's dive in. So let's start from the very beginning. How did I actually win this trip? So a few months ago, I was finishing my trip in Australia and Taiwan, and I suddenly received an email as I was lining up to board the plane to come back to London, claiming that I had won a competition. Now, this made me very skeptical because I don't normally bother entering competitions because in the past, I've just never really won anything. So typically now I just find them as a waste of time. And I was curious, so I was actually responding to this email. I accepted the prize, but I did say that I couldn't respond until I arrived back in London. This was also partially because I'm not going to have internet on the flight, but it's a 15-hour flight approximately, so it would give them enough time to respond to my email and just see how they respond. So I landed back in London, and yeah, I got the offer letter basically claiming that I won the prize. My name was on a lot of official things, and I actually started speaking to a real person, the representative who said that I won, and it all appeared to be legitimate. So my concerns were valid because I have received a lot of emails and requests for collaborations or claiming I've won things because of my channel, and then it just turns out to be a scam, or they just ghost me anyway after I send a few details. But anyway, it was legitimate, so I was very happy, and yeah, it was time to start planning the trip. Although I was right in that I didn't actually win this trip. The representative did tell me that 2 people before me actually won, but they never responded to their emails. So I was the next person, and thankfully I answered the email. Had it been sent to me just after I boarded the flight and I had no internet, I probably would have missed out as well. So I guess it's very, very fortunate for me. But anyway, once the initial shock wore off, I knew the competition was legitimate and the prize, so it was time to prepare for the trip. I immediately knew I wanted to take my girlfriend with me. However, Qatar Airways told me that only those with a British passport or residency in the UK were allowed to go, so unfortunately that ruled her out. But then I thought to myself, actually, this is a very good opportunity to take my mum for her 65th birthday, as I was planning the trip to be just before her birthday. And so yeah, my mum ended up coming with me, and it was great. You'll also notice my furry little friend here, who I've actually called Moo from Scotland, joins me on a lot of my trips. And if you've seen a few of my videos before, you'll see him in a few shots, but he's very prominent in this video. And maybe if you like it and you want to see more of him, he might come into more videos later on. But anyway, let's get to it. Qatar Airways took care of everything: flights, transfers, accommodation, even meals. All we had to do was pack my bags and show up at the airport. The journey started at London Heathrow, where we checked in for the flight. I was extremely excited for this flight in particular because it was an A380. For those who don't know airplane codes, this is simply a 2-story plane, and we were seated upstairs. I've not been on a double-decker plane since I was 5, flying with Japan Airlines, but I remember nothing of it. This was also my first time ever flying with Qatar Airways, which had me intrigued due to the airline winning several awards. The check-in process was smooth before boarding one of the most luxurious planes I've ever seen. While we were in economy, the seats upstairs were large in size. Unfortunately, the flight was delayed over 3 hours at Heathrow due to engine failures and no air conditioning, and we weren't allowed to leave our seats. This did sour the start of the trip and caused us to miss the connecting flight in Doha. However, Qatar Airways sorted out a hotel for everyone on board in Doha and rebooked our flights for the next day. This also allowed us to spend the entire day exploring Doha before heading back to the airport. I'll probably return to Doha in the future to make a proper video covering the city and country of Qatar. But while here, we did see the National Museum, Flag Plaza, Old Doha Port, Amiri Diwan Palace, and the Museum of Islamic Art. Pretty much everything in the Doha Old Town.
After what felt like the fastest long-haul flight ever, we landed in Male, the capital of the Maldives. The moment I stepped off the plane, I was hit with that warm, tropical breeze. It was pure paradise and reminded me of home in Australia. From there, I was whisked away to my resort, and let me tell you, the transfer was an adventure in itself. I took a speedboat, and the views of the turquoise water and tiny islands were absolutely breathtaking. To enter the Maldives, you can get a 30-day visa on arrival, and the airport is mostly outdoors and very small, so you won't get lost easily. Now let's talk about the resort. I stayed at a 5-star luxury resort and it was everything I dreamed of and more. My room was a villa with direct access to the coral reef and crystal clear water. The 2 beds were huge, the bathroom was like a spa, and I had my own private terrace where I could sit and listen to the waves and watch sunset. With all food included in the trip and some of the meals like nothing I've ever had before, I indulged probably a lot more than I should have, but I couldn't help myself. The food was amazing, fresh fruit, pastries, cuisines from different themed restaurants on the private island, and even Moldovan specialties. The resort had multiple restaurants, each one was incredible. I had fresh seafood, international cuisine, and even a private beach dinner under the stars. And the staff, they were so friendly and made us feel like royalty. The resort island itself was mostly empty. The resort hosts several activities throughout the day and they vary day to day. We focused on kayaking, swimming, making group pizzas, cocktail making and snorkeling. And me spending my mornings in the gym because I felt really bad with all the food I was eating. We also had a morning trip via speedboat to the Hard Rock Cafe Island nearby, which boasted several shops, restaurants and the only museum in all of the Maldives, which actually surprised me quite a lot considering there's almost 1,200 islands in the Maldives. The island was nice and peaceful when we went, but other nights we saw fireworks, flashing skylights and loud music, so it must become a party island once the sun is down. As my trip was coming to an end, I couldn't help but feel so grateful for this once-in-a-lifetime experience. Winning this trip was such a blessing, and it reminded me that sometimes amazing things can happen when you least expect them. I want to say a huge thank you to Qatar Airways for this incredible opportunity. It truly was a dream come true and a memorable birthday for my mum. I think my mum enjoyed the trip more than I did, and that's only because I felt trapped on the island for 6 days. I like to venture out and explore as much as I can, and being stuck on the same beach for a week is not my type of holiday, but it was incredible regardless and will be in my memories for life. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on this journey. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It really does support me and costs nothing to you. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll respond to whoever says anything. Who knows, maybe I'll win another trip soon. Until next time, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.